All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shawn Stewart Show. Join me on the line right now. Here's a sports handicapper all the way from Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, Mr. Raphael Esparza, to the program. Welcome, Raphael, and how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, tonight, it appears that we have a baseball game tonight.
Yeah, it's game five of the last game of the NLDS between the Dodgers and Washington at Washington. It should be should be a Nationals victory. You have Matt Scherzer on the mound versus Rich Hill. Rich Hill's coming on a short rest, still bothering some blisters on his hands. So I think the Nationals take care of business and move on. I'm a little shocked that Scherzer is only minus 145, minus 150 at home. So I think you can get value right now if you take Washington. I think Washington will probably be the most betted team in this game right here. So I would figure that the bettors would probably take Washington. So if you want to grab the low number, I would grab it now.
And whoever wins that game will face against the Cubs in the National League Championship Series.
Yes, they would play. That series starts on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that series starts on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like that series starts on Saturday because the American League Championship Series starts on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they start. Tomorrow. Toronto at Cleveland.
Okay, because by the way, if Toronto does go to the World Series, that'll be the first time they'll go to the World Series for the first time since '93.
Yep, that's when Joe Carter hit that home run.
Exactly, against the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, now to college football. You have the University of North Carolina and the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes come from a loss by Florida State by 1 point, and then North Carolina had a loss. So, who do you like in that matchup between those two?
Should be an interesting matchup. Both teams coming off losses. I kind of like Miami. I think they had the game in the first half, playing well against Florida State. I just think weather, the rain in the field was kind of messed them up just because of how they like to run the ball. I kind of lean towards Miami. I was hoping it wouldn't be this high of a number. I don't see there's any much value at a 7. I think it's still going to be a close game, but I lean towards the Hurricanes.
Alrighty. And then you have this Michigan State team will face against Northwestern. Once again, Michigan State's lost to Northwestern, by the way. And right now, once again, Michigan is favored by 4.5, and the total's like 42.5. So why is Vegas still favoring Michigan State Spartans over Northwestern? Because Michigan State should win that matchup.
They should, but I mean, I was talking to other stations yesterday, and they were asking me about Ohio State and Alabama. I just think right now the Big Ten just has it's probably not one of the better seasons for Big Ten besides Ohio State and maybe Michigan. I think everyone else is lucrative, and I think they're going to be a lot of these Big Ten teams are going to be making bowl games. Let's say Michigan State, Iowa, maybe Nebraska, and all that. They might be exposed really badly against other schools besides Big Ten. I just don't think the Big Ten is up top to bottom. A perfect example here: Michigan State 2-3, Northwestern 2-3. This one's going to be tight. I don't know how I can bet with Michigan State. The back losses, bad losses. Northwestern, they're so flippy floppy. They'll have one good game and then they'll just be the next game. Look like the same team that the week before. This game's a toss-up, but probably we're just going to sit back and watch this.
All right, Sports Handicapper Raphael Esparza. Then you have Kansas State Wildcats will face against the 19th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma won against Texas last week, so that should be good news. So Oklahoma's like 10.5 favorite. The total's like 61. Now you're thinking like this game should be an offensive game if you look at it.
It should, but Oklahoma's been playing a little bit better defense. I mean, throw out the high scoring game last week against Texas, the most points scored in the Red River rivalry, 45-40. I lean towards Oklahoma just because I do believe they might have a better offense. Kansas State's defense is really, really good. Granted, they let Texas Tech score 38 points, but Texas Tech is going to score points no matter who they play. I like the way they played at West Virginia. Granted, they lost. It was a nice low-scoring game, like 16-17. If it's a low-scoring game, I think Kansas State pulls this out, which the bettors like already. A lot of money has come in on Kansas State. I think Oklahoma wins, but probably not a cover.
All right. Then you have Missouri and 18th-ranked Florida Gators because Florida did not play LSU due to a weather. Florida Gators are favored by 13.5, and the total is 51.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand why they canceled it just because of the travel. It wasn't because of the rain that was going into Gainesville or the hurricane. They had to travel that. I just don't understand why the big controversy of this game not being played. Florida people saying LSU don't want to play this. I mean, Florida wins this game, but Florida and LSU are all going to be compromised the whole season long because of that canceled game. I've been telling people if they want to play that game, they should play that game during the SEC championship game because neither of those teams are going to make the SEC championship.
Then the next one, you have first-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and ninth-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Now, you have Alabama beat Arkansas, which, of course, everybody knew that. And then Tennessee, coming from a double overtime loss to Texas A&M, and +2, they're banged up. And the Volunteers, once again, they're underdogs. So +13, the total is 57.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if this thing gets bet all the way up to 14. A lot of people weren't betting. A lot of people were betting Arkansas last week, so it's not that it wasn't as easy as everyone thought it would be. I thought if Arkansas was able to run the ball, they might be able to control the clock and be a lot closer game. That didn't happen in the first half, and that's when the game got out of hand. I think the same thing might happen here if Tennessee can't run the ball or spread the ball off the field and keep the Alabama offense off the field. I think it's going to be another blowout game. If you like Alabama, I would hurry up and grab the 12 or 13 points now because I would not be shocked if this thing closes at 14. If you like Tennessee, you might want to wait and grab that 14. But I think it's going to be a little bit closer game. Alabama wins. I still think they'll probably cover.
And the last time that Tennessee ever beat Alabama was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. That game was a snooze fest. That was 16-13. So it's not like it was normally these are a lot closer games as well when they compete better. So like I said, last time they played, Alabama won 19-14. That was last year. So it could go either way. If Tennessee can run the ball and control the clock, I think they can hang around.
Next one, you have 12th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels and 22nd-ranked Arkansas. Now for Ole Miss, they beat Memphis 48-28, and right now the record is 3-2. So the Arkansas Razorbacks are underdog like 7.5. The total's like 67. So is this going to be like a tough game for Arkansas?
It's going to be a close game for both teams. I think Ole Miss is finally playing a lot better ball. Arkansas is coming off, of course, that loss against Alabama. It should be another nail-biter. Last year was 53-52. Arkansas won on the road, so maybe you'll see some Ole Miss want to get some payback. I lean towards Arkansas plus the points on this one. Probably not going to have action on it unless it moves to 8 or 7.5 all across the board. If it keeps on going up, then I'll take a look at it again. But I'll probably stay away this way just because I just don't know what team I'm going to get at Arkansas. They're going to want to get revenge from that loss last week, or maybe they're going to take a step back for the rest of the season.
Got you right there. Next, if we're going to the Pac-12, you have Arizona State University against Colorado. Colorado's favored by 13, by the way. And by the way, Colorado's like 13 favorite. They're 4-2, and the Sun Devils are 5-1. So the total is 60. So, is this game? I think that total's like a little bit too high. I thought it was like going to be like 58 or 56.
For Arizona, they've been a high-scoring game, but the last back-to-back games against USC and UCLA, both games went under. Arizona State coming off a big home underdog upset last week when they beat UCLA 23-20. I mean, Arizona State is getting disrespected, I feel, in this game for being such a big underdog. Colorado's coming off a loss to USC. And they were steamrolling, but they were steamrolling teams like Oregon State, which we all know that it's not the same Oregon team. So if I'm Arizona State, I feel a little bit disrespected here on such a high number. I rolled Arizona State last week plus the 10 points. I'm probably going to roll them again plus 13 on the road against Colorado.
And then you also have for Saturday night's game, you have the Wisconsin Badgers against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, for this Wisconsin team, They have not. Their defense have not allowed like 20 points so far. So right now, as I'm looking at the totals right now, I think this one's going to be a tough one. The Badgers are favored like underdogs, like +10, and like the total is 44. So do you think this Wisconsin Badgers can tackle this Ohio State's offense?
If it's a high-scoring game, I think Ohio State blows them out. If it's a close game, like maybe how Wisconsin played against Michigan, then I think it's going to be a nail-biter up to the fourth quarter. It could go either way. I mean, Wisconsin's still talking about that butt whooping OSU gave them in 2014 when Ohio State beat them 59-0. The Ohio State has won, I think, 4 or 5 straight games against them. I lean towards Wisconsin here plus the points, but again, if it's a high-scoring game, I think Ohio State wins easily. If it's a nail-biter, Wisconsin needs to play exactly how they played against Michigan. If they could do that, then I think this game's going to come out whoever's going to win the fourth quarter.
And they were so close of beating Michigan, by the way. They were like so close.
You know what? To me, that's just another example of how far the Big Ten is. I mean, Michigan, that's a great game right there. Then they play Rutgers and all these other teams which they blow out. Perfect example that maybe the lower echelons Big Ten team are really, really bad.
Exactly. Next one, the UCLA Bruins and the Washington State Cougars. So right now, I see the Washington State Cougars are favored by 6. I don't see any total so far.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game. No totals yet so far on this because of injuries. I just don't see how anyone wants to back UCLA just because of what they've with Rosen might probably being out of this game. I know he's still questionable, but I heard he has not really practiced well the rest of this week. If he's out, then Washington State easily wins this game. I just know UCLA's lost 2 of their last 3 games. Was a bad loss last week on the road to Arizona when they were double-digit favorites. Lost to Stanford, which we've all can see how Stanford has gone down. I just like the way Washington State's playing, winning 3 straight, but easily beating Stanford last weekend. I think the last 3 games that they lost or won have all been by double-digit victories. So I think Washington State should be the play here. And if Rosen's definitely not going to play in this game, then yes, Washington State easily wins this game.
All right, we're moving into the NFL, by the way. You have the Cincinnati Bengals and the New England Patriots. Now, we already know that the Patriots beat Cleveland, so that was an easy win for them. And then you had Cincinnati, got that butt whooping against the Cowboys, but somehow they lowered their butt whooping. So, total is 47, and the Patriots are favored by 8.5. So, how big of a deal if the Bengals do win this game? Because right now they're sitting 2-3.
I mean, I thought Cincinnati was going to be one of the key teams that maybe making a next step up in the playoffs, but man, they've had some bad losses at home. I think they go 2-4 at this point. I think New England wins first game back for Tom Brady at home. I know they beat up on Cleveland last week. That doesn't really surprise me, but they usually control Cincinnati. The last time they played with them was in 2014 at New England, and New England beat them 43-17. I just can't control. I just don't know what Cincinnati team I'm going to get. Losers just 3 out of 4. Yeah, I got to take New England here.
Exactly, and so far for Cincinnati, they have not beaten the team that came out of the playoffs last year.
Nope. And their defense has been really bad lately.
Right, so that's probably going to make it harder for them to go to the playoffs because right now Pittsburgh's leading the AFC North.
Like always.
Exactly. Next one, the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Carolina Panthers, they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night, which I didn't watch. The New Orleans Saints are a underdog, a +3. The total is 53. So, is Cam Newton will be playing? Because I know Cam Newton didn't play due to a concussion.
He practiced all yesterday, so I would think he would be playing in this one. Carolina's coming off 3 straight losses. New Orleans coming off a bye week after a big road win for them against San Diego, but San Diego always falters in the fourth quarter. I want to say take Carolina here minus the 3, but I just don't know what to do in this game. Both teams have been very disappointing seasons. Both teams are Carolina's 1-4, New Orleans 1-3.
Correct.
I I could put my money on either one of these teams. I would probably just sit back and watch this.
That's how I was going to already say because I don't know what's up with this Carolina Panthers defense, and many people picked Carolina to go to the Super Bowl like last year.
Yeah, there's just too many question marks on this Carolina. I think Super Bowl hangover on this team definitely.
Exactly. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, I totally agree with that. Then next one, you have the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington. This is the NFC East rivalry right here, sorta. The Eagles are a favorite by 2.5, and the total's like 44. And by the way, this game is at Washington, so you're expecting like if the game is at Washington, it's going to be like close as you think it should be.
It should. Last time they played at Washington was a very close game, 23-20 last year in early October. I'm kind of torn on this one. Is the Eagles for real? Maybe they're not. I know their big key win was against Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh was missing a lot of their key offense on that one. I want to say take Washington. They've been playing a lot better, winning 3 straight, beating Baltimore at Baltimore last week. I know Baltimore's offense has been horrendous. That's why they fired their offensive coordinator. But it's still a big win to beat them at Baltimore. I'm going to lean small towards Washington. Probably not going to throw any money down, but if I had to, I'd probably look at Washington in this one.
Then you have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders because the Kansas City Chiefs come from that loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was a bad one. And then you had the Oakland Raiders, of course, play the team against the San Diego Chargers. Like you said, they're one of the worst teams in the Super Bowl era or NFL era to ever give a fourth quarter lead. So right now, it is a 46.5.
Yeah, I'm still torn on this one. I don't understand why. The Oakland Raiders are probably one of the more disrespected 4-1 teams in the league. This game opened up. Oakland was a small favorite. Now they're a pick-em or a -1. I kind of like Oakland here, but I'm kind of scared too. I know a lot of money came in on Kansas City. Kansas City has lost 2 out of 3 games. Those were road games. They lost to Houston on the road 19-12. Pittsburgh 43-14. They're just totally a different team on the road. I mean, they've been really good at home. I lean towards Oakland, but I just don't understand why no one else is thinking like me.
Maybe it's because the Oakland Raiders defense, they gave away so many points. That's why many people are so afraid of this Raiders team. But they do have an offense.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's the Saints, when they were winning their Super Bowl and all that, they were giving up a lot of points, but they were putting up points. So I understand that, but when they were on the road against Tennessee, they only gave up 10 points, and they played well against Atlanta in that home loss. So I understand that, but yeah, I mean, still, Kansas City hasn't shown me anything to be a road favorite.
Now here's one I'm torn apart of. Well, it shouldn't be. The Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks. Whoever thought the Atlanta Falcons would be good, especially on the road, because they did beat the Denver Broncos, and then the Seahawks are coming off a bye week. So the Seahawks are favored by 6.5. The total's like 46, and you expect Seattle to win. But the problem is with Seattle is I don't like their offense or even their offensive line, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's a toss-up game. You would figure Seattle would win this game, but I mean, Atlanta's got to be the biggest surprise team in the league right now, especially the way they've been playing on the road. The teams they've beaten. I know 2 of those teams were the Saints in Oakland, and then last week they beat Denver with a rookie quarterback, Paxton Lynch. I lean small towards Seattle. Probably not going to play this because I'm not sold on Seattle either. They've been struggling all season long. I still can't believe they lost to the Rams. So probably going to sit this one back, but I lean small towards Seattle.
Exactly. So that game more likely is not as you think it's going to be. Then next one, of course, you have Dallas and Green Bay. Now this is a big game for Dak Prescott. So I don't like Green Bay's offense, but I knew they was going to beat the Giants. So Green Bay is favored by 4, which I'm not surprised. The total's like 47.5.
Well, this is going to be between the offensive line of Dallas and the running game of Green Bay. Green Bay's running game or run defense has been outstanding this season. If that run defense shuts down the Dallas running game, then I think Green Bay easily wins this game. If not, if Dallas can run on them, then I think it's going to be a lot closer game. If you like Green Bay, I say hurry up and grab that 4. If you're looking for Dallas, I think wait to see if you can get maybe +5. Should be the best game on the board this week, and I lean small towards the Packers.
Next one, you have the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Texans are 3-2, by the way. They lead the AFC South. The Colts are 2-3, coming off that win. The Colts are favored by 3. The total is 46.5. You expect the Colts to win, but I just can't even trust this offensive line for the Colts.
Yeah, this team's the Colts are just. I know they gave that big contract to Andrew Luck, but maybe they should put some money aside to get him some help, some offensive line help. I lean small towards Houston on this one, but Houston's offense isn't as shining as well. They lost badly to Minnesota, 31-13. I know they beat Tennessee at home and they beat Kansas City at home, but those two teams are not good road favorites. I don't know who to take in this one. I'm probably just going to sit back and watch this.
And then finally, you have the New York Jets and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 7.5. Now, you expect Arizona to win, and Carson Palmer should be back. And the Jets, I watched that game against Pittsburgh. That team is like horrendous. The total's like 46.5, and the Cardinals are favored by 7.5. So, I think I'm going to lean towards small against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, granted, that hook on there, 7.5, that always scares me. But how can you bet the Jets? I mean, I was just happy the Jets didn't throw any interceptions against Pittsburgh, so that's a plus. But they still lost 31-13. Arizona coming off a win granted it was against the San Francisco 49ers, but that could have got the monkey off their back, dropping a 2-game losing streak. So maybe that woke them up. I think Arizona wins this game.
And by the way, Colin Kaepernick, since you said the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick does start, by the way, against the Bills. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been playing this whole time, I don't think. I mean, maybe not week 1, he wasn't healthy, but I guess he should have been playing. But I've heard that them two, Gabbard and Kaepernick, have even been playing the best